In today's video we will discuss the top 10 Bentley cars of all time. You don't want to miss this. Please make sure you subscribe to the Top 10 Jaw-Dropping Facts channel to stay updated with new videos, releasing Monday through Friday each week. Number 10. Bentley Continental GT. After the acquisition of the Bentley in 1998 by Volkswagen AG management, Bentley went on to produce the Continental GT. The car was first introduced at the 2003 Geneva Motor Show, and is equipped with a 6.0-liter twin-turbocharged W12 engine which produces an output of 552 horsepower. Bentley Continental GT accelerates from 0 to 100 km 62.1 miles per hour in 4.8 seconds, and can reach a top speed of 318 km 197.6 miles per hour. Early models of the Continental GT include a choice of 6 body colors, 8 hide colors, 5 veneer types, and 4 carpet and seatbelt colors, so it's pretty much highly customizable. Number 9. Bentley Speed 6. The Bentley Speed 6, introduced in 1928, would become the most successful racing Bentley at that time. That's because by 1924, the company decided to build a larger chassis than the 3-liter, with a smoother, more powerful engine. The Bentley Speed 6 was introduced as a more sporting version of the Bentley 6.5 liter and came with an engine that produced 180 HP at 3,500 RPM. While the racing version of the Speed 6 had an engine that produced 200 HP and was very successful in racing, winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1929 and 1930. Number 8. Bentley R-Type. Bridging the gap between the hugely successful MKVI and the more advanced S-Series, the R-Type was the second new Bentley of the post-war era, and the final model to be offered with a manual gearbox. Despite the years separating the R-Type from its earlier sibling, there is little to distinguish the pair besides the addition of a slightly ungainly boot, which was shared with the Rolls-Royce Silver Dawn and all but doubled the model's luggage capacity. Under the skin, the R-Type was very much a known quantity, sharing its big-bore 4,566 cubic centimeters inline 6 with MKVIs built after 1951, while suspension was by coil springs at the front and semi-elliptic leaf springs at the rear. Number 7. Bentley 8-liter. When people think of 1930s-styled cars, odds are they are thinking of something like the Bentley 8-liter. The 8-liter is the quintessential 30s-styled automobile with a wide cabin, dark colors, and huge front grille. Sadly though, the 8-liter was released during the Great Depression. This meant that Bentley was unable to sell many and only made 100 of them. Back then they sold for a mere €1,850, now an 8-liter is hundreds of thousands, if not millions. At least they are appreciated now as works of art, and not relegated to the dark corners of history. Number 6. Bentley Mark 6. The Bentley Mark 6 was produced from 1946 to 1952, it was the first post-war luxury car from Bentley. Announced in May 1946, the Mark 6 was the first car from Rolls-Royce with all-steel coachwork and the first complete car assembled and finished at their factory. The Mark 6 engines and chassis were modified to provide higher performance, and were the most expensive production cars in the world, and the world's fastest 4/5-seater saloons. In 1951, a 4.6-liter, factory-bodied car was tested by the Motor Magazine, and could reach a top speed of 100 miles per hour 160 kilometers per hour and go from 0 to 60 miles per hour 97 kilometers per hour in 15.0 seconds. Number 4. Bentley Brooklands. Introduced in 1992, the Brooklands was a replacement for the Bentley Mulsanne and Bentley 8 models. The car was actually named after the Brooklands racetrack in Surrey, where Bentley obtained some of its greatest triumphs in the 20s and 30s. Continuing Bentley's angular design theme, the Brooklands was intended as a slightly cheaper alternative to the Bentley Turbo R, which featured the same 6.75-liter V8 engine, but without the more powerful model's turbocharger. Driven by the same Rolls-Royce engine, the car came with a 4-speed automatic transmission with rear-wheel drive, and featured independent front and rear suspension. Number 3. Bentley Turbo R. Back in the early 90s, Bentley Motors decided to bring their turbocharged Mulsanne's engine into its own, newer, body style. Thus, the Bentley Turbo R was created and loved by audiences. The Bentley Turbo R was very quick, it had a turbocharged V8 and a relatively lightweight body. The Turbo R even branched out into more trims like the Turbo S, Turbo RT, and the new Turbo R. Nowadays, just about anyone can afford a classic Turbo R for around $20,000. Not too bad for a luxury sports car. Number 2. 1929 Birkin Blower. Sometimes the most interesting ideas on paper don't end up being the most successful in practice. This exact situation embodies the 1929 Birkin Blower. Even though it was supercharged and took place in the historical Le Mans race. Regardless, the Birkin Blower was the purest form of infantile racing in the 30s. Its looks were both race-like and luxurious for the time. Although the blower never really won a race, it's still an important piece of racing history and, as such, has sold for millions at an auction in recent years. Number 1. Bentley Hunaudieres. You might not have heard of this Bentley, but that's because the Hunaudieres was never released to the general public. However, there was a working model that gathered some interest. The reason we have added the Hunaudieres to our top 10 list is because of its bold design. Bentley is mostly known for their luxury vehicles, so the Hunaudieres was a very brave move from Bentley executives. Although it is what some may consider a strange look and never made it to the market, the Hunaudieres was a critical part of Bentley's gradual move towards more sporty cars. Thanks again for tuning in. If you know of any Bentley S we missed on the list, please leave a comment below in the section. Remember, new videos drop every week Monday through Friday. Please make sure you subscribe to the Top 10 Jaw-Dropping Facts channel.